We recently interviewed Noam Ben David, a survivor of the October 7th massacre who was at the Nova Music Festival. From her home in Israel, she shared about her and her boyfriend David's experiences at the festival on the morning of October 7th.
We went out pretty late. We got there at 2:30 at night. 5:30, something like this, we went together to the big stage. And they opened the big stage, the main stage. And we danced with all our friends, and it was kind of around 6 a.m. I went back to the stand to take sunglasses. And I must say, this is the most beautiful hour of the party. You get to see everyone, and the sun is coming out. And everyone's faces just had that big light from the sun, and you see all of the smiles and everyone's hug and dance together. And when on my way back to David, I told hi to one of my friends, and he told me, look up, they make fireworks for us. And then we saw that this is not fireworks, this is rockets. And there was sirens all around us. And they stopped the music. And we heard everyone start to run. Everyone move from this area, go back to the cars, just leave the area. And we heard shooting on automatic on the background. And on the way, you can see people falling. People got shot and they fell. Then David grabbed my hand and he helped me. And we got in between those two big trash containers from the party. We actually sat in between those trash containers for a while.
And the purpose was hiding, or?
We hide because we didn't realize what is happening right now, what is outside. And we saw they blow up cars, so we saw the big smoke. And we heard a lot of grenades and a lot of noise from all around us, and we didn't really realize what happened. But as the time passed by, we realized that we're alone in the field, and we tried to hide to protect ourselves. And David was he kind of took control, and he wanted to see what happened, and he wanted to help. And he tried to text one of his friends who's in a really unique unit in the army, and he tried to send the location. And I spoke with my sister on the phone that time. Everyone was really in panic. A lot of people, some of them ran to other places, but me and David, we got inside the left container.
You got inside the dumpster?
Yeah.
Okay, in order to keep hiding and protect yourselves.
Exactly, and there was this tiny open space so we can get inside. And we got inside and we tried to hide there with a couple more people, and some of them in panic, they're kids. I tried to relax them, to be with them. And David always in the entrance and tried to send the location and to give a perspective of what happened at that time. And after a while that we all kept our heads down, I prayed that someone will finally came to save us. But one of the girls from inside of the trash container, she raised her head and she screamed, "They saw me." At that moment, David just grabbed me and threw me more inside so I can hide inside the trash. And I put a plastic bag on me, and I put a carton on me, and whatever I see, and I had ketchup on my head, and it doesn't matter. You don't move, you don't make any noise. I realized that there's only Arabic all around me, and I'm in this tiny place. I have nowhere to run. So I need to pray for my life so someone will finally save us, because I felt like this is the only thing that I'm left with, the hope. Well, I heard one girl screaming from the outside of the trash container, "Please leave me, please don't take me." So you have that in mind that you can probably be kidnapped. So this is really scary. But me and David texted at the time, and he told me, please count how many people we are inside the trash container. And we got to 16 people. And he told me in 15 minutes they will come, like, Bezrat Hashem, and don't worry, and please be with them and make them relaxed. And after I count like everyone, and after I texted him, I got no response. And I heard someone get inside the trash container. I heard noise. And I heard a scream of Allahu Akbar. And then he started with shooting on automatic inside the trash container. And after a couple of seconds, I heard David trying to breathe. And I know I cannot scream. I know I cannot scream, so I did like, and I tried to be really quiet. And I even squeezed more, and I said, Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, Shema Yisrael, on a repeat in my head. And after a couple of seconds, I felt that I got shot in the left side of my hip. And I tried to put my hand on the open sore to try the bleed. And after a couple of seconds, there was a quiet. He left the container. And there's but the one who survived started to scream because of the pain. And because when I finally raised my head, I tried to understand if David is alive or got murdered. And I record my sister that I got shot. And David got murdered. And one of the guy from the entrance, he did like they shot him directly in the chest. And that he's no longer alive. And the girl that was next to me, she didn't move. And the guy there, with his head down and a lot of blood, and most of the people from the back of the trash container. We were inside the trash container trying to hide for 4.5 hours. And after I got shot, 50 more minutes. So it's in total almost 5.5 hours. And we went out only 4 from the 16. And then after a while, we heard a gunshot. And after a couple of minutes, we heard a little bit of Hebrew. So I was able to do noise on the trash container, and I screamed, please, we're Israelis, please come to save us. And there was a couple people from the army, and they helped us get outside. And on the way out, I saw David on the ground. And I must say that When I met David, I told him, "You're an angel." And even then, he had his halo on top of him and a little bit of blood that was like a wing. And his blonde hair shined from the sun. And well, they took me out of there and they put me in an open field next to a lot of people who was injured from the Nova. And 3 people from the army, like, they're not on duty, but they felt the need to come to the area, and they came on a private car, and they decided to take me, and they actually saved me because it was a matter of time that
I losing a lot of blood.
A lot of blood. And well, they took me and they put me inside the car, and they prayed to find someone who can take care of me so they can go back and rescue more people.
Mm-hmm.
And they saw 699, which is unit in the army for paramedics, and they gave me to them, and they took care of me and did like a proper tourniquet, and they took me to Soroka Hospital, and there was a lot of people there. So after less than an hour, they took me from there to Laniado Hospital, and then I went through 2 surgeries, and after that I was on a wheelchair.
Wow.
And I had a pretty long recovery at Bad Levenstein, which is a recovery hospital. It was a long recovery to teach myself how to walk again. And I have this always in my mind. And David is here in my heart, and he never leave me. I feel him every single day. Even at that day, he tried to do good to all of the people. He didn't thought about himself. Because of, what he did that day, he sent the location, he stayed in the interest. He continued to fight for us. And if he didn't do that, the army wouldn't find the location that fast. And he helped save more than 300 people.
Wow.
So King David, he's my king. And he's my hero. And the light that he gave me to my life, not only on the 7th of October, I was lucky enough to have this big light that continues shining inside of my heart. And I believe that I'm here to continue bring that light to this world.